national security team the president met with this morning advised the president and vice president that another terror attack in Kabul is likely, and they are taking maximum force protection measures at the Kabul airport and in the surrounding areas with our forces as a result.
When the president says, "We will hunt you down and make you pay," what does that look like? Is he going to order a mission to kill the people responsible, or would he be satisfied if they are captured and brought to trial?
I think he made clear yesterday that he does not want them to live on the earth anymore.
Good evening, black people and all allies fighting for black liberation, black prosperity, and black joy. I'm Charles Blow, and welcome to Prime. Breaking just in this hour from the Pentagon, we've learned that the U.S. airstrike has targeted an Islamic State member in Afghanistan. We'll continue to follow any developments we learn on that in this hour. Meanwhile, the president vowed today that he will complete the mission in Afghanistan, despite a new warning we could see another attack like the one we saw just yesterday at the Kabul airport. That attack killed about 170 Afghans and 13 U.S. service members. U.S. officials said yesterday's bombing was the deadliest day for American forces in Afghanistan since 2011. The Pentagon says the U.S. military is still in control of Kabul airport and are continuing evacuations amid heightened security and threat levels. More than 104,000 people have been evacuated since August 14th, including 5,000 Americans, according to the Pentagon. And as the August 31st deadline looms, the White House says there are still 1,500 Americans in Afghanistan. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki warned today the next few days will be, quote, the most dangerous period to date. Joining me now to discuss is retired U.S. Army Colonel and former Chief of Staff to Secretary of State Colin Powell, Lawrence Wilkerson, and Vietnam War veteran Wayne Smith. So, Mr. Wilkerson, I just want to start with you. We now see this airstrike, which I assume is from a drone, in Afghanistan as retaliation for the bombing yesterday. How does this work with still U.S. troops on the ground in Afghanistan? Just from a military safety issue, a safety of the 1,500 American people still in Afghanistan, let alone the thousands of Afghans who have helped Americans out and also want to get out. How is this all going to play out?
I think it's a very dangerous situation, as we've seen the manifestation of just now, recently. You've got the winner in this entire thing is Pakistan. And I can't imagine that the Inter-Services Intelligence Group, Pakistan's CIA, isn't chortling over this, because they're the godfather of the Taliban. They're also the godfather of Lashkar-e-Taiba, a terrorist group that's vicious and has focused on Kashmir and on India. So I could see more attacks, not just ISIS-K, Khorasan, but others like Lashkar-e-Taiba taking the advantage of this moment of duress to perpetrate attacks on the United States. Very dangerous time.
Mr. Smith, I mean, I think some Americans like kind of simplify this and think of they're the terrorist groups, and then there's the Americans, and there's what was left of the Afghan government, however you want to describe the Afghan government. But in fact, these terrorist groups have different agendas. One wants to outdo the other. One wants to embarrass the other. There are terrorist groups that want the Taliban not to succeed. So explain to us how all of these terrorist groups are existing in the same space, and in fact, you know, their interests are different, and we are caught in the middle of that battle among the terrorists.
Well, my response would be that news information agencies like yours, and obviously journalism, is really providing us first-hand information about how these complicated, differing tribes, differing policies are having an impact on all of us. So, yes, I think it is incumbent on all Americans to follow policy, to really study what is happening in Iraq and in Afghanistan, because the failure that I believe is we haven't learned from Vietnam. We lost the war in Vietnam. We tried to do everything to not even acknowledge losing that war. and never mind learning any lessons from it. So we failed to learn critical lessons from the enemy, who the opposition is. We didn't often distinguish between North Vietnamese and South Vietnamese. And that is sadly, in my view, what is part of the problem now. Now, I would just quickly add that it is much too complicated for me to try to fully explain in this short period of time, but it is, again, truly incumbent on all Americans, especially African Americans, to have a vested interest in this policy, because it is a disproportionate number of African Americans who are in the military, who are on the front line, the spare point of our policy. But we citizens have an absolute responsibility to demand Congress and to demand this presidency to be accountable for how U.S. policy and the end of this war, and tragic end of this lost war in Afghanistan, is unfolding. But the consequences of this war will be with us for decades.
Mr. Wilkerson, what is your view of how the withdrawal is going? On the one hand, some people say this is an unmitigated disaster. How could we come to such a pass? On the other hand, people say, this was going to happen eventually anyway. We had to get out. We couldn't stay there forever. And there is no beautiful way, graceful way to pull out of a country. And they also point to getting out 100,000 people in just a few days. How should we be looking at it? What is your take on it?
A withdrawal under pressure, especially under pressure that includes bombs and bullets, is one of the most difficult exercises, operations, whatever you want to call it, to pull off for the military, for anyone. So while it has looked incompetent, and I would be the first to agree that some of it has been incompetent, we do need to get out, and we are getting out now as expeditiously as possible. Addressing your question a moment ago about terrorists, the terrorist problem in the world, this is the sad thing about the so-called global war on terror. Started in my administration by George W. Bush. We have increased the number of terrorists in the world who want to do us harm. By the last 20-odd years of war, we have put more terrorists on the face of the earth. We have armed more terrorists. In Libya alone, we failed to secure an arms cache that was huge. It put 15,000 shoulder-fired missiles into the world, for example. I hope to heck we don't see one of those used at Kabul. It put all manner of small arms into the hands of terrorists all over the Levant, all over northern Africa, the Sahel region in particular. So we have made the problem by our military actions in the Middle East and Afghanistan and Southwest Asia in general far worse than it was prior to 9/11. That's what's haunting us right now and going to haunt us for years to come.
Mr. Smith, I want you to follow up on that. Do you believe that we're making more terrorists in Afghanistan as we pull out? And what do you see as the future of that country in a post-U.S. occupation?
Well, the great tragedy is, again, that we have no understanding, or little understanding, of the people of Afghanistan, and not just Afghanistan, but that whole region. As the Colonel said, we are in this global war on terror. It is still a very hot war. We're simply seeing one stage, and that is Afghanistan. Again, I beg the American people to pay attention to what is going on, because it won't be long before their sons and daughters may well end up having to go back to that region once again. And the future is bleak. To be sure, we who are veterans, who have scar tissue from past wars, never want to see future generations, our children or grandchildren, go. But it is so evident. The Russians tried to conquer Afghanistan and failed miserably, and that was the undoing of Russia. We must never forget that. And we are at a critical juncture in our history. Not only is it Afghanistan, although that's the news du jour and will be, but climate change is going to have a great impact on the shifting economics, food supply, and how again will the United States navigate these strategic relationships to avoid war and, in fact, to put our resources, military and otherwise, where they are crucially needed.
Mr. Wilkerson, I have about a minute left. I just want to ask you this. You know, if the Taliban is going to run a country and run it successfully, they will need international partners. With the U.S. pulling out, who do you think will flow into that void? What other international powers will try to make deals and be partners for the Taliban in Afghanistan?
You're absolutely right, and that's one reason why I'm just a little bit more optimistic than some of my colleagues about the Taliban, the new Taliban, if you will. They've already made a deal, apparently, with Iran. They've made a somewhat of a deal with China. They apparently have negotiations going on with the Russians. I suspect that given their support from Pakistan, given their support from these other places, and they're learning that they need that support in order to bring some kind of stability to the state they've just taken over, they'll be different. Now, I'm not holding out that they'll be different in significant ways that'll make Western powers happy, but I am saying that they might not be quite as bad as they were in the past, and they realize that they're going to need outside help.
Retired U.S. Army Colonel Lawrence Wilkerson and Wayne Smith, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Very informative and very important story. Thank you. After this quick break, Bishop William Barber joins us to preview tomorrow's March on Washington. You're watching Prime on BNC.